Hey, it's Kirsten, and I am on my second video, which I did decide to talk about the different types of photography from my first video, but how to incorporate it with sharks, which I thought was a very, very interesting point because it is my expertise. But I also wanted to go into further detail about the different types of photography and how I could go anywhere with this. So I was thinking about the underwater fashion. I see it happen a couple times here and there, like on other blogs that they post, and there's other photographers that I follow that do underwater fashion. But I was thinking about maybe taking it a step further and maybe doing ocean underwater photography. That would be me getting an underwater rig, which is an underwater camera, getting a fashion model, maybe around like a sunken ship somewhere, maybe even some like debris around. Now, the cool thing about the whole sunken ship is that there is this specific type of shark, which is called a sand tiger shark. Those are particularly not harmful to humans. They kind of just like hang around sunken ships, and they go around. They may eat some smaller fish, things like that. That would be a really neat shot with fashion with the sunken ship, and then having the sand tiger sharks, who look very, very scary, but they are not, floating around her or him. That would be pretty neat. Now, the whole advertising aspect of photography, including sharks, would be like Shark Week, shark finning bans around the world, which I might have to add. Canada, last month, did join one of the countries of having shark finning exported and imported into their country, which that is a huge thumbs up for them. So that is a huge, huge deal. Then I was even thinking about maybe even commercials for like surfing, news, things like that, funny little tidbits, things like that. Then the whole landscape. One of my favorite photos that I have seen on the internet is this one shot that a photographer got from the bottom of the ocean, and he's like looking up towards the top of the ocean, the surface, and there is a part of the, I'm sorry, my daughter's in the background. There is a part of the where you can see like the shadows and like the stomachs of the hammerhead sharks. I think that was very cool. It's definitely won a lot of awards for that shot. It's like all the hammerhead sharks like migrating to wherever they were going. I don't know if it was mating or maybe they were in the middle of mating. I have no idea. Which is really neat about hammerhead sharks. They do go for the biggest female because they will survive. They don't go for the smaller females because they won't survive. It's a little fun fact right there. There was another one of like one taken from like a drone or a helicopter up in the aerial kind of view of a mass ocean space, and then you could just see the massive shadows of sharks floating around. And what's really scary is that it was really, really close to the surface. But that was pretty neat too. Then the other thing is, which is also really, really, really interesting for me, is the documentary, because I do spend a lot of time watching documentary videos and things like on Netflix, and I even own movies of documentaries about Shark Week and sharks in general. And that would be really cool to be behind the cinematographer, capturing all those moments, like with the scientists and with the divers and things like that with the sharks. But it would be really cool to be behind him and photographing the whole thing. So it would be pretty neat. It would even play a part, like I said in my first video, play a part in helping my favorite endangered species as well. Now, the last one would be the underwater and nature photography, which is the epitome of the shark photography, of course, because underwater, and then also the nature part. It probably has the most wide variety of this topic as well. I could even photograph the mating, different kind of mating things that they do, as with great whites. A little fun fact for them is that when you can tell the number one thing that you can tell about a great white, if it's a female, is that she has a whole bunch of scratches on her body, and that is from mating. So a little cool thing from that. We can even photograph like different migration paths. I can even do hunting, different kind of things that each shark hunts and how they hunt, where they go to give birth. Sharks are not known as much as you would think. Like, we still don't know where great whites go and deliver their babies. We don't know where tiger sharks go and deliver their babies. So it'll be really cool to be one of the first photographers to photograph that as well. Now, I am going to try to include and look up different photos on my Tumblr and reblog those that I just use as an example for either underwater shark photos, or even just in general the different types of photography that I just talked about in both of my videos. So just keep an eye out for that. Thank you so much.